Alrighty. Guys, shh. Let's calm down. The faster we get done with notes, the faster we can do it on the whiteboards. Alright, we're going to be doing 2 sections today because they're very easy, because you should have seen this already. Okay? So we're going to do sections 4.1 and 4.2 today. We're going to start with 4.1. 4.1, the title of 4.1 says coordinates and scatter plots. Now, if you have graph paper, you want to start bringing graph paper to school, to this class every day, because we're going to start using it a lot. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about coordinates, okay? First off, this is called a what?
A number line.
A coordinate plane. Okay, this is called a coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is made up of 2 things. What is that called? X-axis, or we can call it, no, it starts with an H. The horizontal. Good. I know. Alright. This one is called the Y-axis, or the vertical. Alright, this point right in the middle, what is that point called?
The zero axis.
Starts with an O. O-R. Origin. Okay, that, where the Y-axis and X-axis intersect is the origin. This is where we start to plot our points. This is where we first start to plot our points. Alright, now this is made up of how many quadrants? 4, because quad means 4. So where do we start quadrant 1? Top what? Left or right? Top right. This is quadrant 1. Well, then you thought wrong. Yes, yes. Alright, so quadrant 1, top right. Then I go to quadrant 2. Where's quadrant 2? Top left. We go counterclockwise. So quadrant 3 is down here. And quadrant 4 is here. Yep.
With that.
Alright, so first example, we're going to graph some points. This is easy, huh? Plot points. Alright, so let me give you a list of points to plot. Point A is 2, 1. B is 5, -3. C is -3, 0. D is -2, -2. E is 0, 4, and one more. F is negative 2, 3. Alright, in order to plot points, what do I have to have? A coordinate plane. Okay? So, if you don't have graph paper, you'll just make a rough sketch. If you do, you'll make a better sketch. Alright, so when I go to plot my points, where do I start off at? At the origin. We always start at the origin, okay? Now, the first number in the parentheses, is that an x value or a y value? That's an x, okay? And the second number is always the y, okay? So the first number tells me how many I'm going to move left or right. The second number tells me how many I'm going to move up or down. Okay? So for point A, I start at the origin, and I'm going to move where? 2 to the right, because I'm going positive 2. And then where do I go? How many? So this is point A. Now you don't have to draw the little lines. You can just go over 2, up 1, put my point. You can do a rough sketch, like just do some little tally marks on your coordinate plane. Look. Okay. What about B? I'm going to start at the origin, and where do I go? Now, is 5 an x value or a y value? An x. So that means I have to move left or right first. So I'm right, how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm right here. And then down 3. So here's point B. Alright, y'all want to try the other ones? Y'all try the negatives on the y-axis or down, on the x-axis or left. Okay? No, you could do a rough sketch. Okay? So go ahead, do C, D, E, and F right now. See if you can do C, D, E, and F. Just like you would be writing on a paper. Plot C.
Negative 3, so negative 3 is on this side. So 0, 1, 2, 3.
And then?
And 0. So go ahead.
Okay, and put C. Good. Alright. D. Color. There you go.
Huh? I got a different graph.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. That's 50. You can't look.
Oh.
It's okay. You can't hold down. You can't press the button. So just put it. There you go. E. Yes. Look. Up there. Hold on here. I don't know how to put, look, just like you would a paper. Okay. It's a sheet of paper.
So you stay right there. And then you just go up 4 times.
Right there. It needs to be on the y-axis, right? Okay. All right. Go on, Jonte. E. Troy. Put out. Beautiful. It says how the point should look. Okay. Your first value always is left to right. Your other one's always up or down. Questions? Okay. Pretty simple. We can move on. All right. Example 2. Yes. Guys, these are the easy ones. These are easy points. All right. Let's see.
I'll write it off now.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a table, and we're going to have to plot these points. D is for diameter. So I have 48, 23, 20, 24, and 30. The C is for what? Circumference. So 151, 72, 63, 130, and 94. You should be copying this down. Don't worry about it. I don't know. I have no idea what happened to him. All I got was my talk about it. All right. So the directions here says draw a scatter plot. Okay? Now a scatter plot is just plotting the points on a grid. They may be scattered. They may look like a line, but I'm not going to draw a line if it looks like a line. I'm just plotting the points. Okay? Yeah, something like that. Okay? So, now notice all my points, all my points are positive. So all I have to do is draw the first quadrant. So I'm going to do that. Okay? That's step 1, is draw your quadrant. Yes. Okay? Now, we need to label the axis. Okay? Now, I will give you this information on the test, but whenever we start to learn about independent and dependent values, then you'll have to decide which one goes where. But diameter is going to go, let me see, circumference equals pi d, dependent. Alright, so circumference goes at the bottom. I'm sorry. Circumference goes on the side. And the diameter goes on the top. Oh, at the bottom. Man. Alright, now I need to come up with some scales. Now, my diameter goes from, what's my smallest number in my diameter? 20. What's my largest? 48. Okay, so I have to start with at least 20 and have to go to at least 48. Now, what do you want to count by? Twos? Okay, you could count by twos, but looking at my grid, I'm not going to... I'm going to count by fives. Okay, so 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. Okay? Make sure on your scaling you count by the same thing from each tick mark. You do not skip any. Alright? Now on my vertical axis, my circumference, what's my smallest value? 63. What's my largest? 151. That's 94. Okay? So I have to go from at least 63 to at least to at most 155. Okay? So what do you want to start at? 60. What do you want to count by? Let's see. If I need to go to 150, I'm going to have to count by 10s. I might even have to 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to count by 20, but you can count by 10 on your paper if you want to. The reason why I have to count by 20 is because I can't see all the way to the top if I count by 10s. Okay? So this will be 80, 100, 20, 140, 160. Notice I didn't count by the same thing on the X or Y axis. That doesn't matter. As long as you don't skip any numbers on your y-axis or on your vertical axis, you count by the same thing. Alright, then I put my points. So when D is 48, what is C? 151. So I'm going to put my point 48. 151 is about right there. About, because of course I scaled it, so it's not going to be accurate. Alright, then 2372, I'll go 2372, about right there. 2063, so 2063, about right there. 2063. Then 24 130. 24 130, about right there. And then 3094. 3094, about right there. And this is my scatter plot, okay? I'm not going to draw any lines because it does not say graph an equation, a linear equation. This is just graph a scatter plot. So this would be my answer. Okay, you will have to, I'll give you a table on the test and I'll say come up with a scatter plot. So you have to label each axis, you have to scale each axis, and you have to plot the points. Is that bad? No? We straight? Alright, that, in a nutshell, is section 4.1. Okay? So that's why we're going to go to 4.2. Graphing linear equations. Oh, y'all all in before y'all even know what's up, huh? Alright, let's see what the title says. It says graphing linear equations. When you think of linear equations, what do you think of? Line. A line. You think of a line. So I'm going to graph a line. Okay? That's going to be the whole purpose of this, to graph a line. Alright. So, first example is going to say, does the points 1, 4 and 3, 4 lie on the graph of the line? And I'm gonna draw the line. If you want to draw a kind of a sketch, but it's going to be hard for you to know how I drew my line. Alright, so here is my line. Alright, I want to know, does those points lie on the graph? So 1, 4, does it lie on the graph of the line? Well, let's plot 1, 4. So if I plot 1, 4, 1 up 4, does that hit the line? Yes. So 1, 4 is a yes. What about 3, 4? Does 3, 4 lie on the graph of the line?
That's 2 and not 1.
Does 3, 4 lie on the graph of the line?
No, the other was 2, 1.
Let's see. 3, 4. Is that on the line? No, it's not.
It's 2, 1, right?
What do you mean?
The other point.
2, 0. All I did was plot 3, 4. If it fell on the line, yes, it is. Okay, guys, all you're doing is you're plotting the point. If the point falls on the line, you put yes. If it doesn't, you put no. The pink line, the graph of the line. Guys, the pink line is a graph of a line. Y'all see that, right? A line, what do you, huh? Okay, let's do some more. Maybe y'all understand.
Did you think catch it when you were doing
I guess not.
I got that, because I already got that. No, I called that dead too. I am.
Use a table of values
I gotta be here.
to graph 5x equals y minus 2. Alright, so listen. When it says use a table of values, okay, I have to come up with some points. Now, how many points are on a line? How many points are on a line? So if I drew this line, how many points are there? Infinity, right? Because if I put a point here and here, I can always put points in between those. Okay? There are millions upon millions upon millions of points on a line. Okay? Now, listen. How many points does it take to draw a line? Think about that. How many points do I need to draw a line? It takes 2 points. With any 2 points, I can draw a line. With 1 point, I don't know if it goes this way or this way or this way. It takes 2 points for me to know exactly what line to draw. Okay? Now, when I do my table of values, I want to come up with at least 2 points. I like to come up with 3. The reason why I like to come up with 3 is just in case I messed up somewheres. Didn't end. A line never ends. It goes on forever. Okay? And that's another reason why there's infinitely many points on a line, because a line goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Alright. So, unless it's the line segment, then it has endpoints. You're absolutely right. Or array, but array goes... Okay. That's geometry. Anyway, so let's come up with a table of values. So, I'm going to let you pick whatever x value you want to. So, what x value you want to come up with? 2. Okay? 2's good. So, when I pick 2, I want to know what is the corresponding y. So, let's see. I'm going to plug in 2, and I'm going to solve for y. What's 5 times 2? 10. Alright. Now, how do I solve for y? Okay. How do I get rid of the negative 2? add 2. Okay, so what is y when x is 2? 12. That's 1 point. Okay? I need at least 2, but I'm going to plot 3 just to make sure I haven't done anything wrong. So what other x value you want to use?
4.
What's the easiest?
1.
There's even easier.
0.
Alright, what's 5 times 0?
0.
Alright, then how do I solve for y?
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
On both sides.
So what is y?
Y equals 2.
Y equals 2. 2 equals y. Well, it's still the same thing.
Okay, so I have a second point. Alright, what's another point? What's another x value you want to use?
3.
1.
1's pretty easy. Oops. So I plug in 1 for my x. What's 5 times 1?
5.
Now how do I solve for y? Plus 2. So y is 7. So now I have my 3 points, and the directions say use the table to graph the line. So if I don't get a line, what happened? You did something wrong. Okay? Alright, so let's draw a coordinate plane. My first point was what? 212. Okay, now my vertical axis is not going to be able to go all the way up to 12 if I count by 1. So I'm going to have to count by 2's here. And I'm going to count by 2's on my x-axis just to make sure I understand what I'm doing. Alright, so my first point was 212, my second point was 0, 2, and my third point was 1, 7. Alright, let me plot these points, see if I get a line. 212. Bam. 0, 2, that means I move 0 left or right, and 2 up. So right there. Now, I could draw my line, but I want to make sure my third point is on a line. So 1, 7 is right here. Does that form a line? Yep. Yes, it does. So I know I did my graph right. So using my handy dandy ID, I would draw my line.
So if you would have had a negative, you would have draw it on the other side, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But we used only positive x's, so that's why I just drew. I only scaled the positive x values. Dabrika? Okay, so step 1. Let's label our steps. What was step 1? We had to do what? Draw a table. Step 2. We picked x's. Any x you want. Now, if you want to pick 100, it's going to be hard to graph 100. Okay? Step 3 was to do what? After we get the x, we had to what? Get the y. Step 4, we plotted the points. So after we got all our x's and y values, we plotted the points. And step 5, do not forget step 5, draw a line. Because on the test, for my first and fourth block, they would draw the points but not draw the line. If the direction says draw the graph of this linear equation, I want you to draw the line.
Okay.
Put your 2 little arrows because it goes on forever and ever. Hold on. Okay, if there's no straight line, like suppose this third point would have been out here, then I know I've done something wrong and I better go check my work.
So it's not going to be a line like that where it's not going to be.
Right. If it says draw the graph of the line, it has to be a line.
They have no problem.
No. Okay? How is that?
All right.
Okay. Curtis, you can